Hey guys, thanks a lot for joining us here for another little sneak peek into the Self-Storage Summit. Again, it's coming up on November 19th to the 21st. Go to the selfstoragesummit.com to register for free. It's coming here before you know it. In today's sneak peek, I have Brandon Snyder talking about tenant insurance, the importance of having a program in place. We go pretty in depth in that, but here's just a little few minute sneak peek into his presentation. Enjoy.
And welcome to the Self-Storage Show.
All right, so as a general concept, and I'm going to start vague and bring it into specifics, most smart people will reasonably prepare while the rest of us wish we would have. And reasonable to us is just a simple balance of ease versus likelihood. You certainly have cost in there. So in our world, we prepare not because we expect something to happen, but to be in the best case scenario if something does. That's generally how we view this entire program, life as a whole, I guess, but really pertaining to this particular program in the rev management side and risk management side. So to relay that to the tenant insurance world, a good tenant insurance program is a reasonable step to prepare a storage facility, thereby reducing the owner's risk in turn for potential of a loss event, right? So you'll see this theme of a good tenant insurance pop up a few times. Step one is that it's reasonable. It should be reasonable. As we jump into a lot of conversations, you'll hear the first few common myths, and there's a boatload of them. I know you've heard them too, but we'll just throw two of the common ones out there. The first one is, I hear what you're saying, but to be honest, we haven't had an incident, right? Nothing's happened here. You know, what do I need to do this for? Why would I want to do this? And I'll be honest, that's if you really dig in, that's hardly ever true at a facility, especially if it's been around for a while. Whether it's little ticky-tacky things or a big event, it's quite often that something took place. Whether it happened 5 years ago and you forgot about it, that's I guess another talk track. But here's the concept. So even if you didn't, if you're on the lucky side of the fence, you've never had something happen at your facility, we view that as you're driving a car. You don't throw out your spare tire because you've never had a flat. Just because you've been lucky enough not to have to change your flat tire doesn't mean you won't get a flat tire. So we get calls, not every day, but often that, hey, you know, I should have started this months ago. We just had this burglary ring in our town. Our units were affected. We need to get this in place yesterday. Well, you know, then there's a limited license. It slows the process down. And, you know, they want to start yesterday, but it takes a little while to get started. So that's the first and maybe most common initial thought that people have. The second one is, and I will give here some and talk through it, but our lease already protects us. Why do we care if we have insureds? It's pretty straightforward. Your lease is set up to protect you from your tenants, and in the storage world, most operators know it's a great business because you're not a bailee, you're not responsible for their goods. No. But why not layer that protection? So you have your lease, insurance aids in that process. And the other thing I'll say about this, I'll try not to go off on a tangent because I think you and I and many other people could hold a whole segment with a Jeff Greenberg or Scott, one of those guys that's writing leases, because something I do in all the states that I've been in with all those operators is a quick lease review of their insurance section, and some of the leases out there, they're not protecting people, they're exposing them, especially the insurance section. By no means am I an attorney, but just read a lot of those so far. So when I get into the checklist later, I'll elaborate on that piece. Okay. But certainly the tenant insurance is a layer on top of that. And just as a theme, I know this is in the revenue management section, but for us, risk management takes a precedent on that, and then the revenue is the cherry on top, which is certainly a benefit of running a profit business. So All right, so a little bit more fun. The theme of a good tenant insurance program, right? So we have, I'll just back up for you. So we have, the reasonable step, right? So first we need the reasonable step. And as the second theme, we need to increase the likelihood that storing customers have some insurance in place. So it's reasonable and increases the likelihood. In this scenario, and it's also as old as time, is the really nice tenant. They bring you cookies. They know your kids' names from the managerial standpoint, and really good relationship until something happens, and then they snap and whatever it was, they lost their dining room set through a water leak, and they're in the office every day swearing at the managers, causing problems. I know you know it. It happens all the time. So it's just a switch that flips, and we're dealing with that.
Thanks for supporting the show. I want to let you know that we've just opened up our brand new free private Facebook group. There I'll be having some extra special content not found anywhere else. If you really want your facility to be a success in today's market, then this is going to be the place for you. You can request to join us at selfstoragecommunity.com or search for Self Storage Domination Community on Facebook.